So, a wonderful good day, good evening, or whenever I might have found you, or you found me. We are at the second session of our Cahokia save file. And the goal for today will be to expand into the wilds outside, which I feel like I should have done faster. And when I'm going to do this the next time, I will be forcing the colonization directly after researching the taxation, but there's always something to learn, because I feel like I could have been faster on that end, but oh well. Let's not be too picky and just keep going. Okay, I've set up the technical parts here now. I can see all the chats. Hello there, poet. Happy to see you, and welcome, L. Nice to have you tonight. So, we got all these items here. Under production. We are researching the capability to colonize. And we are almost there. Okay. So, where did I leave the situation off? I got just a couple of productions and wait, I think we were at the verge of going deeper into paper production and such. We also seem to lack jewelry. Need to change something about that too. I mean, we have a really good income, so let's see how that'll go on. What's that? We can upgrade country rank. Hell yeah. Let's make this place a duchy. It's gonna be giving us a lot of good advantages. Although nothing we will feel too much right now. Except for glory, prestige. We are now a more prestigious tribe than before. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I spent 100 gold for. I think I wasn't spending my money too smartly here. They sold me on the prestige of the title. It's like when you are buying a lord title or something like that from the internet. Yes. Okay. Let's see. But it ain't that horrible. The upgrade will eventually pay off. And for now, we have to wait until the colonization is open anyways. I will increase my maize production in the meantime, because the market still demands more than we are producing, so I shall obey. The market says, so I doeth. At least tonight we have already the taxation going. Yesterday, we weren't even able to tax these poor fellas. So there was only death, and not even taxes. Good thing that we will find Texas eventually also in the south. But now I'm done punning. Yeah, we are in the year 63. I just keep expanding these food gathering sites because they're just the best payoff. Sangamon doesn't seem to want to employ their workers in time, but whatever. There's always a spot where we can invest towards too. So, what about roads, as a matter of fact? They are much more costly than I can currently afford. We are not really in the age of roads yet. I'm not that surprised, though. Alright. Loads? Oh. Why do I have a loan? Yeah, because we have the town of Mahupin here. Totally forgot about that. I figured that's something that there was something I was really missing out on. Okay, so our market has only a slight positive margin on tools. And tools are actually something where I'm okay with if there is so much oversupply on the market that they become cheaper due to that. Because that's how markets react. If you push too much of something on the market, it becomes cheaper. But since we use tools to build places and build buildings with, it's pretty good because that means low tool prices, cheap building costs. Yes, yes. Okay, do I really want to do that? This is a pretty big deal. Nah. My friends, only because you are noble people, that doesn't mean that you can't just cherry pick the rights that you want to have. Alright. My maize imperium grows. Alright. We have settled the tribespeople yet again. Neat. And should I overlook it? Settle the frontier. Looks like we have no more tribespeople jobs to do. That's okay. Let's start developing our neighboring provinces then if we have nothing else to do. Yeah, we quite the crowd tonight, right from the get-go. Quite happy. But I was very much looking forward to this. Today, my hour count on EU5 exceeded the 200 hours. I was talking to my wife today about that. This game is the first thing since Dwarf Fortress that totally picked me up in that manner and totally captivated me in a very, very good way. So, we have now the capability to colonize. I really hope that I have all the materials available. Let's see if we can go. So, let's see. But first up, we should look up what kind of income we will get from these places. There's fur. More fur. More maize. Legumes. Not necessarily something we need that desperately. So that's the Peoria province. So let's see, Kishwaukee. I want to cherry pick because colonization this way does take some time. Wild game, I don't think we have that yet, and it's a pretty good resource. Legumes, it's okay. Lead, not necessary right now. And Piva Riva is already under control. I hate this province's name, just so you know. So, Moinguena. More peas and lumber. As useful as that might be, it's not what we're looking for. Iowa. So, Iowa has wild game, aplenty. Seriously, 3 provinces with wild game and 1 with coal. Not necessarily something we're that much after either. Nisha Botna. That's maize, legumes, and more legumes. So, yeah. Good talk. Omaha. Fiber crops. We already have plenty of that though. Maize. Nothing we already... No good addition to our existing country. Legumes, lumber, wild game, and wild game. Okay. Miramac. We have parts of that already under control. Many parts of that already. So, Udzeta, fur, stone, fiber crops, lead, stone. No, that's what's only stone. That's pretty good, but nothing I would take as a pressing matter here either. Towosaki, clay, useful, double clay this way. Lead, stone. Very good strategical resources. Michigamea, clay, fiber crops, but a very large population here. That's one interesting part about that. So, and manga Cahokia. Fruit, legume, legume. Shoosh. And that's full circle. Damn. That is nothing I really desperately crave for that I want to have. So let's go for a different way. Let's go for the RGO builder and look where we can find tin. Is there any visible here anywhere? Do we get that displayed this way? Let's disable owned locations. Does that mean it doesn't exist here? Let's make a check. Just doesn't show the regions. Where we got that? Oh, where can we put a screen, a lens up that shows us all the goods? Let's see. Raw materials. Oh, that looks good. That's what we're looking for. Hey, Arcade Fire, welcome. Happy to see you. Yeah, I'm recently lost in the Europa Universalis rabbit hole, but yesterday I accidentally made myself Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, so I'm doing well down here. Seriously, I didn't notice when they voted me up, and today I noticed, man, that crown looks fancy. And yeah, that's that. So we're looking for tin. Can you actually see tin? Is that a thing? There. Not via the finder either. I'm pretty sure there is a tool for what I'm looking for, but I'm just too stupid to find it. But we are going to look for things now then, the old-fashioned way, by just looking at the map. That's a whack... That's one wacky maze. Look at it go. That's the most drunk map marking I've ever seen in my life. No overstatement here. There's Mercury down there. That's interesting. But it's more like a casual. Oh, there's cotton. That is something I want to strive towards too. Back there is iron. Also very, very good. We will get some of that. There's stone. Looking for tin and copper though. Are you telling me there's no tin, no copper in any of these provinces? Am I stupid? Am I overlooking something? But I definitely noticed that this direction looks like the most desirable here. The resources that we can acquire there are really good. Tobacco, I'm pretty sure that this will be worth a penny. And cotton is just such a power crop in the business of cloth making. It's basically, if I remember correctly, one of the very best RGOs you can have. Well, Arcade Fire, the game has an overwhelmingness in itself at the beginning, but I gotta say it succeeded quite quickly on my end, and I had a pretty easy time in understanding how the game works. More than with other Paradox titles in the past. But it might be also that I'm an absolute economy nerd, and history is also one of my favorite hobbies, so maybe I'm just the target audience. It might be very much the case. But enough talk. We are going to colonize into that direction, because that is where the good stuff's at. So, let's see. Michigamea offers us more clay and more fiber crops. That is maybe not the one that I want first. I felt like this one was good, right? Fruit is good, legumes are good because we don't have as... Yeah, let's take that first. Here we go, and we're going to settle that from... We're sorting these by population. Yeah, Cahokia. Okay. Boom, let's go. I really hope we got all the items that they need. A colonial charter always costs your empire resources. Not only gold, you need to spend the cost of colonies, but also resources for the colony thing, you know. The settlers need specific things like medicine, leather, tools, and food, and if you don't provide these, they're not colonizing. I think I could have prepared that faster, the goods that you need to colonize. That's where I was a little bit slow yesterday, but that's okay. Let's see how things will work out for us. Pretty good so far. We seem to be able to fulfill all the needs of the colonial charter with ease. No downtimes here, ever. Good stuff. Let's see, the country debt is at 0 currently. That's also very, very good. Alright. Let's see, what's the most profitable building right now? The Spinners Guild. They are slightly overproducing cloth, but since cloth is asked for basically everybody in our empire, I mean even the slaves are buying some cloth if they have some penny, we definitely want to increase on these industries. They will help us. Cahokia has a massive amount of fiber crops in the hinterlands, so yeah, we already have legumes. Whatever. I just realized that I'm slightly colonizing into the wrong direction. Open 2 colonial charters and see how well we will fare with that. Many of my empires easily were able to stem the costs of that. Let's see if we are that strong too. We want no town in Ochechiton still. I didn't play EU4 myself. Whoa. It's a little bit too much, isn't it? Let's see. Is it just me? No, it's really almost as loud as my voice. Chill down, orchestra. You're awesome and all, but it's my stream. Seriously, the soundtrack of that game is amazing. So, can we afford that? We totally can. Can we afford that? Yes. Our current scenario demands us to not fall below a certain amount of tribal cohesion and stability. That's why I'm double guessing on all these events, whether we want to go for either this or that outcome. So, since we are currently under gravel road expansion debates, I have remembered that maybe we can give the traders the permit. Yeah, building rights. Here we go. This way, these fellas will be allowed to build stuff. Let's see. Oh, the chieftain's able to get something useful done if we give them something else. Primacy of nobility. What's that? Well, discipline ain't that much of a big deal right now. Efficiency of our cabinet is good, though. So, let's spread gifts among our estates. Give them new rights so they are less pesky. Jokes aside, this is really, really powerful. Here, efficiency of our cabinet plus, let's give them that too. So, at the end of the day, our chieftains are a little bit unhappy, but that's okay. I always wanted to get into EU4, but when I finally bought the total package of all the DLCs that have been released, I got that on Humble Bundle once for a pretty low price. I realized that it was such a behemoth that I wasn't able to get into. And then I saw the announcement of EU5 on the horizon a year or so ago, and I was like, yeah, all right, we're going to put that on the bench, and we're playing this when it comes out. And I gotta say, luckily, they didn't disappoint me the least little bit. This is one of the best historical 4X games I've ever played in my life, if not the best. It's hard to say, but I really am enjoying myself in a way I haven't enjoyed myself since a very, very long time. That's all I can say. And I can see myself playing this a couple of 100 hours still in the future, because there's just so many things that I still want to do. I haven't even started. I want to play in Scandinavia. I want to be frickin' Sweden. I want to know how an icy environment plays out. I want to go to the Polynesian region, because all the Navy gameplay there must be dope. There's also Japan, and God, cool. Let's try and pick up a law here. So this is really a bit difficult for me, but I think I'm going to go for the favoring the clergy, because these guys are my scientists, and in the long run, that's really important. 200. I passed the 200-hour horizon today, Arcade Fire. This is just... I don't know when and how that happened. Like I said before, Dwarf Fortress was the last game that managed to draw me in like that. With Dwarf Fortress, I'm still waiting currently for the magic update to be implemented. The Siege update is all nice and dandy, but maybe I will make a new series with the Siege update. I haven't fully decided yet. I'm currently a little bit torn, but that's maybe also because I have my attention elsewhere. Yeah, game's awesome. It's really, really amazing. Might be a little bit on the costly side, but it's one of the rare cases where I say this game already is slapping hard, even without any DLCs. You already have a fully functional global sandbox that has access to Steam Workshop, which means you can access a lot of things with modding. I mean, it will, like all the Paradox titles, eventually become overbloated with DLCs. They can't stop doing that. I mean, it's basically their marketing model, so I don't want to badmouth it too much. It's just, I mean, somehow all the good things need to be paid for. But yeah, I really just want to flesh out here that this game is already very, very feeling very complete without any DLCs. And nowadays I've been playing a lot of 4X titles that have been released and felt like, oh, I have to wait for DLC 1 and 2 until this feels like a real game. Looking at Civilization games like these, they really have set up a very, very bad standard recently, at least on my taste. Your mileage may vary. I already have my copy with me. So, my economy is really powerful for a primitive one. We're rocking the boat. I have such a strong income that we have no problem in staying afloat here. The only issue that is currently at hand is that my demographics are a little bit low. We'll have not enough workers in the timber industry. That is sort of an issue. Cultural traditions, maximum tax for the peasants or monthly army tradition. I gotta say, monthly army tradition is much more tasty than a little bit of a taxation extra. Monthly army tradition is damage reduction, just directly translated. It's badass. It means my troops are more resilient per se, and this does matter a lot in this game. I did play like it's hard to quantify, but I think I spent 50 to 100 hours with Rimworld again on Odyssey again. Yes, Odyssey has been the best DLC they delivered since a long time, because it's not only the grass ship that's great. That content alone is already awesome, but Ludian was smart enough to just add in a lot of other nice things that just make your gaming experience richer into the Odyssey DLC. They seem to have heard us when we were complaining that Anomaly was a nice experience, but not integrated enough into the base game. And they delivered excellent on that end. Really great. Really great stuff. Welcome back, Poet. So, oh boy. Still a little bit a case of a sore throat. Not gotten rid of that curve fully, but mostly. Alright. I think I will try to... I kinda am tempted. Yeah, we're doing that. Let's take the third colonial charter in action. I have such a high income. I can easily stem the cost of the colonies, and currently it seems as if my economy is easily providing the tools necessary and the materials. I can even increase the tool workshops here. Let's go. The faster we colonize the wilds, the faster we can cultivate it and make it prosperous. That's just that. Hey, David Williams. Settling the frontier, the cabinet action, the last time I did it, drained my provinces brutally empty, and it is very, very slow. I think the advantage of colonizing this way is that it goes faster, because the cabinet action is always a 10-year cycle. But yeah, I also felt like it was way less demanding on the economy, even going as far as I felt like some backgrounds heavily rely on using the cabinet action to expand early on, and I think I should have done that differently in this run too. I think this has been a mistake on my end. But now, since the economy is running and I am able to run 3 charters at once without stalling so far, I don't think I want to do it again. I was too stingy with the money recently for the cabinet members. Because in the beginning of the run we were a little bit pressed for money. As we are still. Because we obviously need to take up a loan. Development in Cahokia is for my scenario goal. We need to push it towards a certain point. The most important people I have assigned. So... But this assimilation job here is just nothing too important. Could actually start developing Tamaroa. It's much more effective. Does much more of a good job. Yeah, but looks like my economy is able to supply the 3 charters. That's a good thing. So we're going to go for the stability. Like I said in the previous stream, I will have a very, very high likelihood that I will run out of tech to research way before I'm done colonizing this area here. Eventually, we will be stalling technologically because we lack contact with high developed nations. And that'll take until the colonial age until that changes. Which is roughly 200 years from here. 150 to 200 depending on my bad luck. So, luckily we are not colonizing the jungle this time, and the charters are going forward with relatively humane speeds. I have done a playthrough on Congo, and I gotta say, colonizing the jungle is a nightmare. The worst nightmare is colonizing a jungle tile that is mountainous. It takes so long. It just takes so long to found a new colony. It is really painful. But I love how this game shows you why civilization took so long to take a foothold in certain regions of the world, because, you know, nature's quite a beast. Alrighty. But so far, my most pressing matter is that we should try to get these RGOs to expand as soon as possible. They don't have enough workers to fill them yet, but I want to give them the opportunity to grow into their shoes. Because every piece of lumber extra is really, really good for us. Because I bet... Yeah, look at that. Just like I thought. We are actually negative in lumber income. No big surprise on that end. Just what I expected, honestly. And that's something we need to change as soon as we can. Alright, some tech for people making, for making people live longer. Never a bad thing either. Okay, they will take way too long to fully staff them out, but yeah. Yeah, burn knowledge. What should possibly go wrong? So, what kind of higher developed buildings do we have here? Is that copper? Yes, we're lacking copper. Not a big surprise. So, can our jewelers make jewels out of... No. I don't have any materials we could jewelize. Let's see, can the rural jeweler do something for us? Yep, they can. Nice. So, we're going to go and make ourselves a market village or two. There's no real winning condition, it's just survival. If you are mismanaging yourself, you will eventually get eradicated, because the AI will look at your spot on the world and be like, I want that. And if you are not strong enough to withstand these demands of the AI, you will eventually get war declared on and destroyed. So the game has technology for 500 years. So there's this time arc here. But I think there's... I don't know if you've won the game at some point. I'm currently trying to get to the end of the timeline with one of my save files. The one where I now made it to be the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. But yeah, I haven't been there yet. I'm working on. And it does take quite some time to get there. One run easily can have 30 to 50 hours if you're depending on how micromanaging you play. Ah, we can tank some stability. Ain't that much of a big deal. Alright, maize is finally in sufficient supply on the market. Let's see what we need besides that. Fine cloth. How much of that is necessary? And oh yeah, this is a good market. It's definitely growing towards a higher need. Slave markets are absolutely useless if you are not surrounded by people you can enslave. So there goes that. So the brewery is able to make booze out of maize and pottery. Well, that should help the Potters Guild. We got a big clay RGO running. Don't think that we need to worry about anything. Yeah, you can play one session really long. But as somebody who actually only finished my first Rimworld session only because I made a gameplay series that brought me to the idea, well, that's something to strive towards to at the end of the day. Without my job, I would have been not finishing a single Rimworld run yet ever. I don't mind that the game works like that. It allows me to play each session as long as it feels good. Currently I'm playing that session a little bit longer because I'm making tutorials and I want to learn everything, obviously. This is something I really wish automation would be existing to give the children just automatically better education. Because that's really something that escalates quickly. I mean, seriously, 4 kids? 5 kids? You, son, get a military education because I was angry at the end of the other line. Thanks, guys. You're too kind. Just trying to make my tutorials in a way that everybody can understand them, and you don't need to know anything before about the game. That's the only real big difference I feel like I do between the other tutorial makers. But whatever, I'm glad you guys like it. Always happy to help. So we can tank some stability. We're absolutely good at that end. Alright. We're just printing money right now. Yeah, I was really good at explaining things already as a teenager, L, as a matter of fact. I was really able to explain almost everything to anybody. If they sucked at something at school, I helped a lot of people there. That's a pretty interesting point, Biz, and hi. Happy to see you, mate. That's a pretty cool thing to say, because really my perspective about the game changed across the 200 hours. And one thing I want to point out is you really notice that the people that are developing the game seem to be playing it themselves, because whatever good idea I have to play the system, there's almost always a mechanic around the corner that smacks you for abusing a certain angle of the system too much. You know, few examples. Markets. Trading with one nation and another is really strong, but there is the problem that if ever there's too much war around you, all of a sudden all the OP money you get from the trades evaporates because people are like, trading? Nah, we're too busy killing each other. come back next year. So that's really something where one example. And there's another nice example. I've seen people power gaming a lot around the fact that you can be very, very powerful if you take all the extra rights away from your noble stratum. So you can revoke rights, you know, revoke privileges. Costs a ton of stability. And I've seen a lot of power gamers saying, yeah, like, yeah, keep your nobility without any rights. That's the easiest way to have a lot of crown power. But guess what? Eventually, the age of absolutism comes around the corner, and tell you what happens. If you have too much crown power, terrible revolts and rebellions will happen. So you get smacked for this power gaming too much. That's something I really appreciate, because that means there is not many cookie cutter solutions that just melt the game. There's a couple of things that just work too well still. The AI is, especially when it comes down to warfare, pretty easy to trick. Like all AI warfare so far, they have habits you can abuse. It's the same here. But I gotta say, the AI still does build up terrifying armies, and they know how to play the economy game too. They definitely do. Better than with other games. Has its limits though. Space Station 13. I tried to get into it, but I gotta say, when I was coming around that town for SS13, it was already a very, very close community and extremely complicated. The main reason why I didn't get into it was that my life as a content creator, I always need to evaluate, can I afford that time investment, and can I get some return on my investment eventually? You know, if I spend like hours and hours with a game, I don't have time to learn other games, and that can be a problem. Therefore, Space Station 13 was a nice thing to look at, but I never found the time to really play it. Although I gotta say, it looks like an amazing project. Alright, so we're getting now the rewards in for our colonial charters. These will take a while though until they really, really pay off, sadly. So we're going to go now, and we have enough stability. I will start settling the tribes people. Yeah. No reason not to start right off the get-go here. Thank you, Eisenkram, or Eisenkram.
This is very personal.
Welcome to the crowd. Toxic positivity. My favorite pest. It's just like violence, without punching people. Just a lot of peer pressure and cuddles. Yeah, well, I am, for example, very sad that Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead goes to shit. Like, the current developers are really hell-bent on making the game real to their vision of the game, and not noticing that they're pissing off the majority of people with that. Or whatever. That's... time will tell how things go down. Alright, so my second lumber camp is getting ahead now. Alright, so now, since the most pressing matters technologically are researched, we can now go and just research like this. Just like everything. Because at this point, we will just have to wait until people come on by that give us good technologies. Until then, we're just going to tick the boxes off. Alright. Let's keep it like that for now. Well, yeah, I mean... yeah, if I could be... I wish I could be saving some games from themselves, but I can't. I mean, there's so much weirdness out there in some online communities nowadays. I mean, I gotta admit, I'm still playing League of Legends until this very day. I started back way before Season 1 even, so I'm really a long timer here. And one of the things I realized is that there's really a big problem in Ranked with people smurfing their arses off there, which means they are actually more experienced than they pretend to do and play on a secondary account to stomp noobs. This behavior is so inflammatory and highly toxic, and you can't even talk openly about it on the public forums, because if you go, for example, into the subreddit of League of Legends and you post something about this problem, your posting will get immediately deleted and blocked. You can't talk about this topic anymore because the public stance is, yeah, Riot is okay with smurfing, so stop complaining, you. I don't have anything to say. It might be toxic, but shut up, man. And that is something I realized recently. We are living more and more in an environment where people have the power to just silence you if you want to be, if they want you to be silenced. And that's something I find very, very terrifying. Because it kind of like seeps over from the political stage more and more into our private lives, and I hate that. Love to hear that, Isenkram. I'm really doing my best to make this game more understandable, and hearing back that it actually worked, that's one of the best. Happy to have you, mate. Yeah, David Williams, exactly. The tools bottleneck is just disgusting. We're trying to circumvent that a little bit with spamming towns now in Cahokia, but we will still have the problem that we don't have enough stone, and the problem is pretty much irresolvable still. Yeah, Biz, especially these unranked to challenger video series, they really ruined so much of League of Legends culture. I mean, we have on one end a humble prodigy like Faker on the top of the food chain, who's really pretty much, I don't know anything bad about that guy. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have people like Tyler One, just affirming that you can be a stupidly toxic person and getting away with it time after time. And people see that, and they think that's cool, and then they replicate that. Because that's just how we work. If we see somebody getting away with some shitty behavior, eventually somebody will think, yeah, I want that too. And that's just how it works. I have had a massive depopulation of with Settled Frontier, David. I have had really bad experiences with that. Last time I did that in my Colombia run, the province that originated, that did the I did the origin charter from, it was wrecked. It never came back. Certain provinces were stuck on one population and never, ever regenerated back. 200 years later, I had provinces that had from 1 pop up to 3 pop. I can't. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit overcautious, but yeah. Tyler is an excellent player, and he's also an excellent show person. He built up a really good show persona, and he actually does a really good entertainment program. Don't get me wrong, I really think he's a very, very gifted person on so many ends. Even I looked at the streams and I had to laugh at times and enjoyed myself with that guy. He's really, really a good entertainer. But the point stands. The guy got permabanned for toxicity at some point in his career, and League Riot was like, "You just promised to be less of a dick. We would like to have you again on our revenue schedule thing, you know? Just play nice again." And then they made him happen again, and I hate that. I don't really like that. Wild game is much needed, yeah. That's true. Which ones were... We had one neighbor that was really good in that end. Exactly. This one? No. There was one province that had two wild game deposits. But this is really far away from my main province. I don't like that either, because we'll have a bad control there. I think I'm going to go for Kishwaukee. That is close-ish enough for wild game. Let's do a fourth one. Let's see when my economy will gasp and say it's enough. Yeah, Biz, I'm part of that. I have stopped using the chat in League of Legends completely. Because 99% of the communication, there's just aggravation, accusation, and toxicity. And I gotta say, I enjoyed the game way more since that. Maybe it was always an illusion that chat and communication like that worked out in a game like this. I don't know. All right, so this is where we feel the drain on the wallet already. And I just noticed I did a massive mistake. We're not going to fulfill the Utopia Charter here. They were, Biz. They were. As somebody who's been playing League of Legends now since Season 1 and all the way through, I agree with you. I've been around long enough to know what you're saying. Alright, so we have lost the 45-year bonus. And that's why that's why I have all of a sudden this money. That's the reason. Okay. So, we're going to gain Osanamon soon. Okay, so I think I missed out on the Cahokia turns into Utopia event string, but that's okay. We still have a relatively solid income. I mean, I am stemming a charter, 4 colonial charters at once. That is better than my previous attempts. That's something. Well, seems like I need to stream some League myself again too. Love the game still. Alright. I might be overdoing the maize production a little bit, but the gap between consumption and production ain't that high yet. XP2, I don't know that guy, sorry. I've been not following the biosphere of the really League of Legends influencers too much anymore. Too busy making my own thing and not able to earn money there. Alrighty. So, that fur RGO definitely will pay off. We want, though... Oh, Osanamon, yeah. I want to settle more tribespeople, though. I find this extremely useful to make sure that we got a nice workforce capable wherever we want to work. Oh, I don't know how too much about the inheritance rules here. I usually just wing it. There is a whole rule set about the whole heirloom thing, but I have to work through that still, Biz. I'm sorry. Can't give you info about that. Care to explain, Isenkram? Maybe I can help you. Alrighty. So we get the blob is growing. That's good. All right, Matsigama. Ooh. Let's piss off the chieftains for a massive benefit of money. Hell yeah. So Matsigama, more peas. Thing we really need. Okay. I really want to save up my my money now a little bit to buy another town. Let's triangulate where we want to put that. I mean, technically speaking, it's always best to put your towns... Oh, we take those pieces of art. Sorry, clerics. Be mad as much as you want to. Art is really nice. So, Kaskankaham. Nah. So I could... I gotta say, the provinces around Cahokia are all a little bit ungrateful. We either colonize away one of our profitable maize areas, but I think I will do it still, and give Kaskaskia a town. It has the highest amount of population in the vicinity, and yeah, I think we're gonna do that. Oh, this colonial rights thing. Yeah, it is really one of the weirdest event lines that I've seen, and it did confuse me too, because it seems currently as if the AI... Oh, okay. Whatever. It seems as if the AI is just not caring it at all about this treaty, and just pissing everybody off. Like, let's violate the treaty here, let's violate the treaty there, let's violate the treaty here, and also on and so forth. It seems as if the AI players are not even capable of understanding themselves how it's supposed to work. I'm really confused. And wondering if it's bugged currently, or what's the matter. Alrighty, Ale. Thanks for being around, mate, and I wish you a good night. See you soon. It's so weird to have an environment where marketplaces are just not cranking out big money because there's no other market to interact with. That is just a shame. But at least we acquired our wild game. But yeah, now it's a little bit of a waiting game with the low income that we currently have. I don't want to loan another 200 ducats because that would drain my income even further, and that is not really a good thing. My income will stabilize as soon as the colonial charter pressure will be lower. Well, wild betrayal is sometimes a feature when it comes down to this whole colonial treaty we were talking about. It really feels as if the AI is misplaying it because it's not understanding what it's supposed to do. I have had the impression at some points that there are certain cases, certain story arcs where we have to wait until there's bug fixes and such to iron these problems out. I don't know if this is one of the cases or I just haven't understood the mechanic enough and the colonial forces are like, yeah, I'll provoke that war. Deal with it. So, let's see. I think this is low enough to go for loans for the rest. Loaning ourselves 120 ducats is much less of a problem. One loan is 0.20. So yeah, while we are feeling this now, it ain't destroying our economy either. Here we go. Town number 3. Okay. So far, so good. That's been one of the things I did wrong when I was playing the Native Americas the first time, or generally native tribes. I didn't build enough towns. You really should cram in any town that you can get, because of the simple reason that you will need the tool workshops so desperately. Otherwise, your tool production won't be killing it. But I gotta say, I really hope that one day Paradox might overthink that the rural blacksmith only working with iron in primitive societies is just not really a good choice, I think. In these primitive societies, we should be able to make tools out of stone, not only in towns. That is... Nobody I've been talking about this topic with had any understanding about this rule whatsoever. It seems to be just hang around and being there and ruining everybody's time in the Native Americas. That's that. Distillers Guild. Do you guys distill maize too? You distill potatoes. You distill sugar. Wine. And beer. So they'll be processing the items from the brewery right further into the next best juice. I mean, it's an unintroduced good yet into the market, so let's do it. It'll definitely give us money. Well, I could declare bankruptcy with my debts, and then they would be forgiven. But that is a nonsensical decision right now with these small-term debts. The financial system of this game is massive. You can do such interesting things. Financial stunts that I gotta say, they feel like borderline cheating, but it's just things that have been happening in real life too, so I can't really say it's a bad thing. So, Ochechiton, let's do it. Let's give this thing a town too. It will lower the income of the salt node, but I will just accept that as a necessary evil to get myself town number 4 dirt cheap. So we just need to lessen levy obligations for 5 years, and we have that thing actually already through. Nice. Okay. I really think that this is a Seth game. Yeah, totally. I mean, I find it quite funny that Seth really does feature a ton of games that I happen to play too. This guy has a really similar gaming taste like me, and I really, really much appreciate it. I really appreciate the whole work of this guy. He's an amazing content creator, one of my favorites. So, let's keep settling those tribes, people. Thalon Plays. Hi there. You're around since Songs of Six, mate. Wow. Happy to have you. And we will be returning to Songs of Six as soon as the full version is out. Really waiting for it still. Songs of Six will be great once it's out, and yeah, EU5 is just I love the game. Moinguena? I thought Ochechiton. I am actually even more happy. It has bad proximity to the capital, but it ain't blocking my only salt node. So there's at least something positive about the situation there. Excellent. So, add Kaskaskia. They are already building the Toolmakers Guild. That those guys know exactly what I'm needing. Nice. So, even if the profits at Moinguena are horrible, it has to provide tools to the market still. Good day from New Zealand. Hey, man. I'm happy, gaming for fun, to be able to be of help. I will do more videos with more helpful things. Today I was just too busy homesteading and helping the family out. I wanted to do something, but today somehow always something new came up. Groceries had to be done, cooking had to be done, then the dog had to walk. My wife was busy changing the having an appointment with the mechanic to change the tires. It was constantly something. So yeah. Sadly only gameplay today, but I gotta say, I'm enjoying the gameplays of EU5 here, streaming wise, a lot with you folks too. Alright, so yeah, we are building even more of the tool workshops here. That's going just as intended. Brilliant. Quite surprised that the brewery is running that well. Or, well, I shouldn't be that surprised. Thing is quite simple. Oh, Peoria is fully integrated now. We don't have any other market participants that introduce any goods into the market, which means all the booze that the folks want to drink has to be produced by me, and it's not getting produced by anybody else. There's so many industries in this playthrough that usually run very ineffective on my gameplays because somebody else is already overproducing the booze, basically. Yeah, gaming for fun. Maritime things are on my to-do list still. I don't have basically almost not a clue about it yet. I meant to do a gameplay in the Polynesian region because I felt like the whole area there is just perfect for maritime gameplay because there's just water and islands everywhere. I figured that might be one of the best regions to get a grip of the mechanics, but currently I am very well versed with land combat by now. That's something I can say. I am even able to fight against overwhelming odds and usually win as long as I have a regular army on my side. Regulars are overpowered. Massively so. But thanks for the inspiration gaming for fun. It's definitely on my to-do list. There's always so many things to write down and research with this game in the first place, though, because I just don't want to spread any misinformation. Alright, income is looking really good, as we see as soon as we have finished the colonial charters. The pressure on my wallet diminishes massively. So, how much interest are we paying? 1 gold. Ain't that much, actually. So, Michigamea is the colonial charter that we are fulfilling here with the last one here. So, that one is lead and clay. I'm very tempted to pick this one up very soon too, because clay is also a very valuable resource in the primitive societies. Legume, clay, and maize. It's not too useful. Want something that has a nice amount of wild game. Here. This one we're going to claim. Then I have 3 provinces with wild game available. That'll help. Let's source the colonists from Peoria this time, so Cahokia doesn't get pop drained that hard. I did pop drain them quite hard recently. One of the reasons why the whole Utopia shtick didn't work out. My bad. Oh well. So let's wait until another colonial charter is through. And then I need to consider how many of these we want to have running at the same time. Alright. Spreading out is right now one of the most important things that we need to do. Once I have enough territory, I will be able to fortify it better. Because that's the next step. When the colonial forces come, I want to be able to build fortresses wherever I can and wherever they are needed. Because one thing I did learn, when you have enough fortresses, the AI has so much more problems conquering your turf, because they just need way too long to actually capture your land, and you get a massive advantage time-wise due to that. So let's build ourselves some temples in the cities, in the towns that we got. Temples are really good. Temples increase the control over an area. We probably can't fully operate the temples because of a lack of beeswax, and obviously I mean, something I need to check out. Not text space. Was there any beeswax in any direction? Because I gotta say, this is a very, very important resource. This is something I really hope gets changed too. I'm very bothered by the fact that we can't have apiaries. People that tend for bees. There should be the option to produce beeswax like that. Maybe not nearly as effective as with an RGO, but the fact that I can't operate certain buildings entirely, or I'm lacking a lot of their efficiency only because there's no RGO in the vicinity that offers beeswax, feels bad, man. Feel like I'm getting punished for something that's entirely out of my control. I don't know a single gamer who would like that. Correct me where I stand wrong. Utopia and dystopia are basically the same. After reading Brave New World from Mr. Huxley, a very, very old but very powerful work, I realized that trying to make things too good is almost more horrible than creating a dystopia willingly. Because the outcome of attempting a utopia can be very twisted and sinister in a very, very wrong way. No, we're going to originate that. No, not this one. I just wasted money. Ah, whatever. We're going to tolerate. Just realized that I'm drawing population from my timber provinces. That was not smart. Well, I think we can only achieve fulfillment as a society when we strive for some sort of a balance. All systems weighing to one extreme usually collapse. I mean, it even goes as far that this applies even to our understanding of reality. We have the few constants in the cosmological sense that if one of them bends too much into one extreme, our whole reality would be either crunched or ripped apart. Even it goes even there that we need to maintain a balance. Life seems to be all about balances somehow. This is one of the weirdest things that I've realized the longer I live, that it's somehow all about balances. It's just what it is. So, with the introduction of booze, we should be able to increase our consumption of maize even further. But the breweries are starting to turn a lower yield. The distillers also don't have the yield they promised me. Lies, filthy lies. You told me that they would be drunk all day long. And now what? Just joking. It's just like when a good is not introduced to the market at all, the market can't predict how much how much it'll be requested. But I'd say we're going to give them what they want. At least partially. Okay. Very good. With the acquisition of wild game, we have finally fully functional settlements. And it seems like 3 colonial charters are currently the sweet spot for my economy. Seems as if we can't really handle much more than that. I'm oversupplying fiber crops right now a little bit. So we probably want to introduce another spinner's guild. So those fibers get processed a little bit more. Okay, what do you guys have for me today? Sponsoring noble arts? Definitely. The Gravel Network Parliament is right now not that interesting. because I don't really want to build roads at this very moment. Way too costly. Way too costly. Yes, this is an actual location. Cahokia is... Well, it was a part of the North Americas. Pretty much everything is historically as correct as possible in this game that I've been actively researching. Whenever I was looking something up, it was exactly as they said it in the game that it was. So I feel like the devs of this game really take it as their mission to to give you also sort of a history lesson while playing that. I love that. I really love that. I mean, I think the story of the Cahokians is to some degree fictional, because I don't think that we have so much written history and such about what has happened in this region. But yeah, I would need to research more closely how they set up the whole shtick there. Yeah, I can't see the rest of the world yet because, you know, we only know what we know. We need to find a way to explore the rest first. Alright, so the Michigamea Charter will be finally done in a few years. This is a good example of how the terrain can be really a pain. It's forest, and yeah, that's already it. Forest is already enough. Good that it ain't mountainous, but it seems to be one pesky forest. Alright. But I really can't afford more colonization effort right now, and I'm even going as far as considering to lower my efforts a bit, simply because of the reason that I feel as if we are slowing the buildup of my empire here a little bit with the current colonial behavior. Let's bring it down to 2 colonial charters at the same time for now. I mean, technically, we want to colonize as fast as possible. Practically, there's always a cost to it attached. In this scenario, the cost is slowing myself down, as a matter of fact. And I don't really like the fact that we're weakening our city development here. That ain't a good thing. Okay. Let's see. Will. Lots of resources that I don't really need right now, sadly. Fur ain't that important. I already got enough fur in my empire. Well, let's make sure that the tribespeople settle down. So we got a big, nice workforce when we need them. Yeah. This town is not really in a good spot. Let's give them a temple. That'll increase their control. But overall, Moinguena is providing tools for the country, I'd say. But apart from that, it's never going to be a productive town for the time to come. Probably we will get past that bump rather sooner than later, but not for now. Tar. We don't have any demand for these yet either. I don't build buildings where I don't have demand unless it is something we are building for the sake of earning money. Alright. Let's upgrade those lumber places again. Very, very much worth it. Top-notch building material, after all. Folks are spamming granaries. My problem with the granaries is that they don't offer a too massive service to the society. They just increase the local food capacity, and they do require masonry in the upkeep. This is what bothers me about it a little bit, because I figured that there are so many more useful things we can do with our masonry. But at the end of the day, I think I am just a little bit stingy and not really in a good way. Alright. Tell you what, we're going to lower our interest. Food surplus does increase pop growth. Yes, that's the best point about the granaries. Problem about the granaries currently, though, is that they do cost me upkeep, but luckily not as much. Sorry. Like I said, it's been a long day on my end. Alright, Michigamea does take forever somehow. But, yeah. I am looking forward to those clay RGOs, because that'll make masonry very available. That's just the deal about it. Alright. Ah, well. Let's stick to the debt reduction plan here. Does increase my my tax income again. So. Alrighty. Yeah, we should spam a lot more scriptoriums right now, considering that we are taxing the clergy too. We can cut a nice profit out of that. Alright, so I'll be back in a sec. I need a drink. Be right there. See? I didn't lie. Okay. So, Moinguena is building stuff that I really don't need there, but whatever. One day they'll be lucrative. So more lumber mills are being created. Lumber mills are the buildings that I don't really like. Probably we'll have to take them down. Lumber mills take tools and make lumber out of it, which is not good because we're never having enough tools in our society. It'll begin soon. So let's increase those lumber RGOs as quick as possible. And sucks to be you guys, but whoops. Did you invest into lumber mills, any chance? They're cancelled. I just disallow the estates to build these for the time being, because I don't want anything that just drains my tools on the market. We increase our lumber intake in a different fashion. And I mean, overall, we do have a positive intake of the stuff. So it's just the estates being greedy and playing for a profit there. This is one of the things that is a little bit annoying, that the estate building does sometimes really do very, very bad, wacky things, but whatever. A bit, or to some degree, that's more like it. I actually do enjoy it because it reflects the madness of of people in general, just doing things because I do things now. That's great. They build just wacky things, and I have to live with the consequences. Feels a lot like politics. Ooh, unlawful private collections. Oh well, they don't give me money. Too bad. Alright. Looks like we're at least producing enough tools to maintain a solid low building price in general. That's something. But I mean, I do keep the tools guilds maxed out as far as I can. There was room here for another one, right? Right. Down here. But yeah. Okay. That's just not much money per month right now, and I don't like it. But I think as long as we are bound with those colonial charters, not too much will change. Yeah, I don't like these low cash flow times too much. Alright, warriors, tribes, people have been settled in. We are getting there. Yeah, they're really building all the funky things in there. I don't really know why a weapon maker's guild at this point, but you do you, folks. You do you. Ambra. Well, yeah. All of the promote urbanization votes that we can't get, I really try to get through. So we are at 25.12. This is not much. I'll need a different good event for that to be successful, sadly. Too bad. Too bad. That was really would have been nice. So I don't want to give up on that effort yet. Maybe we get lucky and we get at least one event in that is positive, and then we do have a chance again to get a free city. Or, sorry, town. Keep mispronouncing these things. Towns and cities are very different things in this game. But it doesn't look like we're lucky this time. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm not willing to go through all the things that I could do to promote urbanization under all costs. We're just going to try it another time. Okay. Yeah, scriptoriums. How's the book situation? Pretty even. So I'll just turn off the mic for a sec. All right. Well, as much as I would appreciate a temple in Kaskaskia, they already have pretty much max control, so I don't think that this is getting us too much ahead. Shouldn't the brewery here provide? Oh, Cahokia is pretty much out of pops. I see. Now that explains a lot. Well, okay. One of the reasons why I chose Kaskaskia, even though their pop count isn't that impressive either. Okay. Well. Let's see how rich we are after the next 2 colonial charters are being dealt with. Would be really cool if we could see at which point the colonial charter will be completed. Because currently we don't see a ETA at which date this is supposed to be done. It would be really nice. Okay. almost at 99% here. I probably will keep investing into fiber crops, because it does make my whole cloth industry more powerful. There we go. That's Tewosagi. Place where there's clay, but we don't have any dips on it yet. And Michigameya. Soon, finally done. Soon TM. Oh, sorry guys. Oh. Probably won't be lasting that much longer tonight. Good. So that wild game place is also quite good. We have a pretty high demand for that stuff already. Very good. Will still take 3 months. Oh boy. Okay. Finally, these are getting done. That is Michigameya. Nice. Okay. Let's move on over to Kutawa. Or Charkeys. That's peas, maize, and peas. Dang. Not quite the land you would go for, into hardships for. But well. So, my good friends, I think, for me, it's time to say goodnight for today. I feel fairly tired, and I'd say we made a good progress here for today. And, yeah, thanks to all you out there watching this. And, yeah, see you all on the next one. Good night, good day.